من سارا ناصری هستم، بنیانگذار شرکت کوین هستم. چیزی که برای من ارزش دارن مادرم، پدرم و برادرم هستن و همینطور کارم که برای بهتر کردن به بیمارهای زنانه هست و برای من خیلی مهمه. من در دانمارک به دنیا اومدم. پدر مادرم ایرانی هستند. من تحصیلاتم در رشته پزشکی در دانمارک گرفتم. بعد از تحصیلاتم تموم شد اومدم دانشگاه استنفورد در کالیفرنیا. اونجا در بیماری های زنانه کار کردم. من دوران بچگی خوب در دانمارک داشتم. پدر مادرم همیشه منو تشویق کردن. همیشه رابطه خوبی داشتیم و در کارم زندگیم با هم صحبت میکردیم. ما با هم دوستیم بودیم و هستیم. خیلی فعال بودم. رفتم کلاس موسیقی، رقص، هندبال، شنا. همیشه برنامه داشتم. سرم خیلی شلوغ بود. دوستای خوب داشتم که با هم خیلی آماده رفت داشتیم. هنوزم داریم. من فارسیم خیلی خوب نیست اما دوست دارم که فارسی صحبت کنم. من با ایرانی سیاتی در دانمارک بزرگ نشدم اما چون پدر مادرم ایرانی هستن فرهنگ ایرانی رو دوست دارم و غذای ایرانی، موسیقی ایرانی، رقص ایرانی قسمت از زندگی من بوده. خوشحالم که در فرهنگ ایرانی و دانمارکی بزرگ شدم و چیز متفاوت از هر دو یاد گرفتم. بعضی آدما از بچگی میدونن که چی میخوان بخونن. برادرم میدونسته که میخواد دکتر بشه. من علاقه های زیادی داشتم. یک همسایه در دانمارک داشتم که سرطان پوست داشت. مرد خیلی خوبی بود و من خیلی دوستش داشتم و فکر کردم که کاش که میشد یک کمک بکنم. بعد از اینکه در یک پروژه سرطان پوست کار کردم فهمیدم دوست دارم به آدما کمک بکنم. به خاطر همین پزشکی من خوندم. از اولین کارم یاد گرفتم که چطور شرکت را اندازی کنم، با آدما کار کنم و مدیریت کنم. سفر کردم. یک مدتی هم ژاپن بودم. این به هم یاد داده که مستقل باشم. مادر و پدرم همیشه میگن که من مستقل بودم همیشه اما شرکت اولم به من اعتماد به نفس داد. من از کار کردن تو بیمارستان فهمیدم که دوست دارم کاری کنم که بشه بیماری رو از قبل فهمید. اینطوری لازم نیست که حتما مریض بشی و میشه کمک کرد تا جلو بیماری رو بگیری. فکر میکنم کار اصلی باید سالم نگاه داشتن باشه. اگر بتونیم بیماری رو بفهمیم قبلش پیشرفت زیاد میشه حتی از مرگ جلوگیری کرد و من فکر میکنم این باید تمرکز اصلی باشه. من حالا انگلیسی صحبت میکنم برای که برای من یک کمی راحت تره. Medicine is very much about, especially in medical school, is kind of reading very old books because of course humans haven't changed much. Our anatomy is by and large the same. And so in medical school there is not a lot of room to look ahead into the future and say, okay, now that this is status quo of the industry, what can we do to make it better? That is not the focus of medical school. And so throughout medical school I always had that kind of curiosity of okay, this is how it is, but how can we improve on that? I do think that I was kind of curious about improving the status quo of healthcare, and came up with an idea while I was in medical school that then became a research project and eventually a company, and that's been kind of what I'm doing now. I did not plan to become an entrepreneur. It wasn't a dream for me to own my own company, but I was very passionate about preventative healthcare, and so I came up with this idea for a new chemical compound, as nerdy as it sounds. Buckyball. The compound had the ability to absorb UV radiation. The idea was to replicate the ozone layer on Earth by using a molecule called a buckyball. And so that idea became a project, became a company, and I started that. I was 18 or 19 years old when that kind of started.
I first heard about Sarah about 10 years ago because she had invented a chemical compound at age 16.
It's interesting because this unique structure makes it possible to chemically open it and encapsulate different molecules inside. The buckyball is extremely inert, and it has its own UV-absorbing properties, which made it an ideal container for the ozone molecule. And together, this combination, which is the first in the world, is expected to provide a 99.99% protection against all UV radiation, and it does it.
I was really impressed with her and reached out, and we became really good friends. And then we studied at a place called Singularity University at NASA. Sarah started talking about menstrual blood being a unique opportunity for women's health, and I thought it made sense, and we decided to start a company together.
I was participating in a conference that Intel was hosting. And in that conference, I was giving a presentation about some of the research we'd done. And in the audience was the founder of a university that is located at NASA, at Moffett Field. And so he saw my presentation and was inspired and invited me to come down and see what the university was about. And then I really loved what they were doing and ended up studying there for 6 months, living on NASA campus, which was a fantastic place to be and learn a lot from that. Basically what they did was they would have people come and tell about the world's most pressing problems in different areas: poverty, healthcare, security, green energy, and others as well. And the first half of the program was really talking about what are the issues that people are facing. And then the second half was where they basically brought in experts in different technology sort of areas, and they taught us about exponential technologies in particular. And the whole idea behind the place was that you could then use the knowledge you had about exponential technologies to solve some of these most pressing problems. And for me, healthcare was what I was interested in particular preventative healthcare. And so I was spending my time there really thinking about why haven't the industry become more preventative? I think the industry wants to be preventative, but it hasn't happened yet. And why is that? And so part of it is that patients rarely come to the hospital unless it hurts somewhere, right? You have a symptom, it hurts somewhere, you go to the doctor. At which point in time, it's actually really hard to be preventative because you're already kind of experiencing symptoms. And so the real question was really, how do you get access and information about your health when you're outside of the hospital before you start having symptoms? And how do you do that is really, it comes down to how do you get information about your health? And so in the past 5 years, we've seen this explosion in medical devices. You can count your steps, your pulse, your sweat, and all kinds of things that can tell you a little bit about your health. However, none of those are very clinically relevant. So at the time, my mind was very much about blood, and it was, well, blood is the most commonly used bodily fluid for diagnostics and health monitoring. And so the question was, how do we get access to blood when we are not in the hospital, when we are not sick already? And it has to be in a convenient way that doesn't require needles or medical assistance. And then one day, the idea came to my mind, well, women bleed every month. Why has nobody used that for health purposes and health monitoring?
First of all, I wanted to work on something that I felt mattered in the world. It had to be something that created real impact for people. And health is a great place to do that. And blood is a really central source in medical decisions, but it's hard to get to. And when I understood about menstrual blood and the opportunities there, and understood that 2.2 billion women bleed naturally every month, it made sense to me. And I basically decided to jump heads first, together with Sarah, into understanding menstrual blood, and from the beginning thinking about how to build a product that would be easy to use for people. And yeah, that's been a road, and that's what we're doing today, and I love my work. Working with a woman's period, it's a difficult place to innovate. It's a monthly occurring event, and it's hard for timing reasons, so from a product development perspective, it's actually really difficult. When you design products in this area, you have to focus a lot on simplicity. It has to be easy to use by anyone, and which is why we chose to focus on a menstrual pad, because that is the most used feminine hygiene product. When we design products, we focus a lot on simplicity. It has to be down to the point where it's intuitive, and she basically can't make mistakes. Because from a medical standpoint, we are putting the responsibility of a blood draw in the hands of a person. And so everything has to be fully engineered in order to do that. It's a difficult challenge.
حالا من دارم میرم توی لب، به خاطر این من انگلیسی صحبت میکنم، برای که فارسی برام یک کمی سخته توضیح بدم. How's it going? Are you fiddling with the keypad? Are you punching as well? Yeah. Okay. Very, very good. There we go. And then you see. All right, so this is the kit. When you open the kit, what you'll find is a menstrual pad. It is an organic menstrual pad that is built basically using cotton. And that is important because we need to make sure that the pad has not been sort of soaked in any perfume or any chemicals. It's entirely clean, and that's how we make sure that the blood sample is, sort of the integrity of the blood sample is good. And so when you open the Q-pad, this is what it looks like. It's a menstrual pad, so women will know what this is. It has wings, so you can attach it to your underwear. And then on the sort of front page, there's a green oval. This oval is how you know when you've collected enough sample for us to run a test. So once this oval is covered with blood, you know that you are done with collection. You pull this strip, and this is really where the magic happens. This collection strip collects a specific volume of blood and stabilizes it so that we can analyze the blood sample later on in the lab. And this is from where we also do the analysis. So as a user, once you have that, basically what you do, you open this return sample container. This is the return sample container. And then when you're done with the strip, you basically place it inside of here, you close it, you put it in this, close that, and then you put this in the mail. We then receive that in the lab, and that's what we analyze. Does that make sense?
First of all, I think the future is bright. We're dealing with a blood sample has a wide range of opportunities relating from cancer, diabetes, fertility screening, sexual transmitted diseases. It's a matter of conducting solid science and really proving with high performance that we can detect diseases. And then it's a matter of communicating well to patients how to understand results and how to act accordingly.
We've done a number of clinical trials, I want to say 5 or 6, where we've been looking at various things. We actually just finished our first cancer trial, which was funded by the Cancer Institute at Stanford, where we are basically screening for cervical cancer using our modified menstrual pad. We just finished that study a couple of months ago and are doing the data analysis, but it is looking very, very promising. And we've done 4 or 5 studies before that where we've looked at more common biomarkers such as fertility hormone, thyroid hormone, vitamins, and stuff like that, where we are basically showing that you can, using our Q-pad, monitor for these hormones instead of going in and getting a blood draw. Let's talk about the Q-pad illustrations here. I actually think they look great. Q-pad 1, Q-pad 2, it tells us about the absorbency, and then you get the instructions on the back.
Yeah, and you know what? I got this to work so you can actually scan the Q-pad with just a regular app, and then it will open up the Quinn app directly. So the linking and everything now actually goes.
That's amazing.
Because we could work a little bit more to illustrate for people how to use the pad, because with the oval, I think a video would really help.
Yeah, not on the packaging, maybe on the
Not
app.
on the pack, yeah, but if somehow you could like scan a video and then boom, it shows on the phone how to know when you're done.
I think at its core, entrepreneurship is about being innovative and coming up with solutions to a problem that you are passionate about. And starting something new. That is entrepreneurship for me. The qualities that I believe entrepreneurs, the best entrepreneurs have are sort of very hardworking, the ability to take something that is very complex and come up with very simple solutions to those. You have grit, you don't give up, you keep going, because it is definitely not an easy job, a lot of ups and downs, and you have to be able to deal with that in a way that makes sense. I think the best entrepreneurs are also people, they are people that can deal very well with other people in terms of inspiring them to work with you. I don't think any company can be built by one person. You have to be able to work together with your team and hire people, and being able to make that environment very nice, right? And motivate people. And so it's a combination of being problem-oriented and technical in some ways, not giving up, and then being very good at handling people around you.
I don't sleep with my window open anymore. And I don't believe in Peter Pan.
Sarah's a very smart woman. I realized that from the first time I met her. But intelligence only takes you so far. It's a matter of being a good person. And so building a company, when you choose a co-founder, it's a really important person, your future adventure for your company. So I assess Sarah for a multitude of reasons. She has many qualities, among others that she's a medical doctor. She's my co-founder, and that's an important person.
I do believe that if you're afraid of taking risks, if you're afraid of failing, afraid of stepping outside of your comfort zone, you will be left on the ground. While believing, thinking positive, daring will let you fly.
Building a company requires a whole suite of different talents, basically, and some of those that Sarah represents, which are fantastic for our company, is she's a really good people's person. She's really good at negotiations, which is key often, and she's a doctor, which is key when you're building medical products, that you can build something that's clinical utility. And then she's extremely creative, and you need that for problem solving. Those are some of the qualities that Sarah possesses that makes her fantastic at what she does.
خواسته به شما رو ببرم اینجا که اینجا هست دانشگاه استنفورد برای که اینجا من ریسرچ شرکتم کردم. So we did the first comparative study here where we show that different biomarkers in blood correlate. So it doesn't matter if I'm measuring it in your menstrual blood or in your systemic blood, but now as a woman you can just wear a Q-pad, a menstrual pad that has been modified and get health testing in a way that doesn't require you to drive to the doctor and all these things. The other side of it is cervical cancer screening. We just finished our cancer trial looking at whether we can replace the way we do screening for cervical cancer using just a menstrual pad. And I think what we hope to do with that is in part make healthcare better and easier for women, also enhance the knowledge we have about women's health, which has been sort of historically lacking, and improve women's health in that way, but also change the conversation around menstrual blood. For a lot of women, menstruation and having your period is a taboo, it's wasteful, it's a sort of embarrassing almost. And with this company, we hope to change that conversation, that menstrual blood is actually an opportunity. It's something positive that women have, and they can use it to basically get their health monitored in a very easy way that men can't. And so that's part of why we're super excited about building this company.